Set the scene. What's the atmosphere like there at the airport?
Oh, there's drowsy Pats fans just talking about Tommy's domination and the fact that they knew all along that there was no keeping him down, even though Wahlberg left.
Ooh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry move by Mark.
Yeah.
No, people are dazed, confused, and pleased.
All right, what was the mood like where you were when it was 28-3?
It was fairly bleak. I mean, I've seen this team. They're extremely hard to kill. And I said that it was starting to get dicey. In my immediate area, in row 2 of the press box, next to me was my guy Phil Perry, who also works for CSN New England, who kind of starting to look at each other with wide eyes because you don't like to get the game completely wrong. It's just not good for business. So I didn't think that the gig was up, but it looked pretty bleak. What I didn't think at halftime, when it was 21-0, 21-3, and then it got to 28-3, the only sliver of hope that I mentioned was maybe that the number of plays that New England had run, aided in part by a pick six, would wear down the Atlanta Falcons defense because they were fast and they were flying around, but they were on the field a long time in a gym that started to get pretty hot, Dan.
Who deserved the MVP, your MVP?
I don't understand why this is a conversation. It's Tom Brady. I mean, Jimmy White, I gave it to everybody early in the week that James White would be the X factor. But he's not reading the defense. He's not getting the team in and out of plays. He's not delivering the football in the face of a pass rush. He's putting his hands out. He's catching it. He's running with it. Brady threw 63 times. He completed 42. He had to manage the clock, manage the play calls. It's just, you can't do that. You can't do it, Dan. Are you trying to do it?
No, I wanted to know. I didn't know you were going to get that sensitive about it, but now I'm glad I asked.
No, it's inflaming me. I mean, hashtag Tommy deserves everything he gets and more.
Well, I thought White was great. When you have 3 touchdowns and 14 receptions and you have the game winner and a 2-point conversion, at least you're in the conversation. I think there's a conversation here, but it was going to be Brady. If they won, given what he did in the second half and the fourth quarter, then in overtime, Brady was going to get it. I understand that, but I think it would be a disservice to James White to not at least address what he did last night and put him in the conversation. It's like Malcolm Butler, who was more valuable in the previous Super Bowl. More valuable, Malcolm Butler, Tom Brady. You can at least put Butler in the conversation because he made the greatest single play in Super Bowl history.
Yes. Definitions of value, we could say that, but
exactly.
We could also say that if you had, Matt Schaub quarterbacking that night, then they wouldn't have been in that spot to have Malcolm Butler make that play.
He's Tom Curran, Comcast Sportsnet New England, joining us, Dan Patrick Show. Most valuable play last night was turned in by who?
Wow, that's a great one because there's some sneaky ones in there. There's the 4th down completion by Brady after the ridiculous double pass, which was a big one. And there was also, on a 3rd and 8, the 15-yard scramble by Brady. And at that time, I believe it was still 28-3, might have been 28-9. Those were 2 huge plays that are lost in the shuffle. But the drive starters, too, in the, Edelman's catch, there's a fleet of them. I actually was just watching it again here at the airport on the NFL Network, and there were so many plays that fit the description of you weren't going to win without it. And that's because they had gotten themselves to a margin of error that was 0. There was nothing else they could do wrong. You know what? You know what the biggest play was? The Hightower strip sack. Without that, they're not getting the short field. They're not scoring. So the Hightower strip sack was the one.
Team that felt more dead. Patriots last night, 0-4 Red Sox against the Yankees.
0-4 Red Sox. Because it wasn't something that we had seen them do before. Just a year before, they choked on their own vomit. So, 3. So this we've seen. Look, Brady came back from 24-0 down against Denver on a Sunday night or a Monday night a few years ago. He almost brought the team back against San Francisco in 2012 when San Francisco was good. Even when they lost to Philadelphia last year, they were down, I think, 35-14. They came ripping back in a very short period of time. They did it, with Seattle. The only thing, I had a feeling it was going to get close, But with the Red Sox in '04, the party was over. I mean, not only did they have to get the stolen base to get Dave Robertson to scoring position and then get a single, they had to do that for 2 more nights. So this one was more probable than not. No, than the other one.
Would you like to get the written transcripts of what Goodell was saying to Tom Brady?
I would. And I would also be interested to hear what Brady was saying back. I was at the back of the stage seeing Belichick and Goodell have an exchange, and I tweeted out the little video I had, and they had a long exchange with a lot of shoulder patting and nodding and all that stuff. Just, I understand what you had to do to Tom. It really helped us out in the long run, gave him 4 weeks rest. We appreciate it. And now we can actually turn Jimmy into God knows what. I'm there for you. I'm there for you, Bill.
Man, I think what Brady said to Goodell is, can you believe I almost lost my job at halftime to Jimmy Garoppolo? Somehow I turned out to be the MVP, Raj. I'll see you at the press conference where you hand me my MVP award. We'll play nice then.
I have so many freezing cold takes from halftime that people were shooting at me. Time for Garoppolo. It's just tough to see Tommy go out this way. It's unbelievable. I've lived here all my life, but I am still agog at how absurd we are as a fan base, media group, the whole thing. We're a bizarre bunch.
Is Deflategate over now?
It's dead. It's over.
We move forward.
It's all done.
We move forward, right?
Yes. Our long national nightmare is over. But and this was what I wrote about today, Dan. I can't imagine how stomach churning it must have been for the rest of the country to watch that team that everyone was looking to have its nuts stomped on national television for an hour of football just reach the hand up from under the grave and pull everybody back down. Because don't you think that most of the country was really rejoicing in what was unfolding?
Yes.
Yeah. And hashtag Tommy's the MVP again, though.
Feels like the accent's getting a little heavier there, Tommy.
I'm tired. I haven't gone to bed yet.
Oh, so it starts to get a little more syrupy, a little more Bostonian?
Yeah, it's like when you could speak better French after you have a beer or two. Or 9. 8 years of French.
Safe travels. Au revoir.
Are we're done now?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Get on the plane, go home.
All right. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the backpack that I got.
You're welcome, Tommy.
It's terrific.
You're welcome.
Have a great week. Goodbye.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you.
Hashtag Tommy Curran. We gave every one of our guests in Houston a backpack, Dan Patrick Show backpack. So that's what he was referring to. He's a knucklehead, though.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings on Audience.